What's going on, everyone? I am Jaye the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Niecy Nash and really the truth of this situation. This marriage that she had for 8 years, why it broke down. Those who don't know, Niecy Nash, an actress, she plays on the show Claws. She's been on several different shows before, but this is her real breakout role. Okay. And she recently separated from her husband, Jaye Tucker, of 8 years. And on the outside, it looks like a very amicable breakup. But we all know that things like this can be skewed. There could be a lot more going on. I think in the future, we're going to know why. But I'm going to really get into this. And everyone's had their take on it. And I'm going to share my take on this as well. All right. Now, the thing about this marriage, okay, with Niecy, she was married once before. This was her second marriage. She was married to a guy by the name of Don. And what's very interesting is that she still has his last name. Okay. And she also has 3 kids. All right. Not only that, her husband, Jaye, is an electrical engineer from Los Angeles. Okay. I think at the time when they got together, they were both in LA, but she moved down to New Orleans to film this show. Okay. And not only did the distance, I believe, play a big role into this dissolving, they talk about how her body changed. She lost weight. Her body got fitter. She got thicker. She did get thicker. She slimmed down. She got thicker. Anybody who saw her on Reno 911 and then you see her now, you'll see the difference there. And the thing about Niecy is I've always liked Niecy. Niecy seemed like a very cool personality. She's a very charismatic woman. Okay. And I could see why Jaye may have been drawn to her, and that was when she was a little bit bigger. But because she slimmed down a bit, she's got curves in all the right places. And she's on this show, which has become a hit for TNT. She's doing these scenes, with these dudes that has made this guy uncomfortable. And I think that was the final straw in a relationship breaking down. And I'm going to tell you why. First off, look at Carmelo Anthony and Lala Anthony. Look at the situation they were in. Look at the fact that Lala was doing these scenes in Power and Carmelo wasn't comfortable with those scenes. But she was going to do them anyway because she wanted to advance her movie career. Just like when she got him to leave Denver for New York. That wasn't Carmelo. I want people to understand that. Carmelo is not a big city guy, despite what people may think. I think he liked being in Denver. He was comfortable there. But he did what he did for his wife. But anyway, you look at Niecy Nash's situation with her husband. A guy who is not an actor. He is not in the industry. So it's very interesting how they met. It's almost like she wanted to have a regular life when her career was sort of just flowing, but it wasn't really anywhere. Like she was doing that show with Cedric the Entertainer, I think right around the time they got together or right around the time they first were married. So her career wasn't where it was. She wasn't on a top ranked show like Claws. And I think he was good with being with her. She was good with being with him. He accepted her for being not only bringing kids into the marriage, but bringing kids into the relationship, but also she was a divorcee. Okay. Now they separate. And I think it had a lot to do with what she's doing in the show. I think that he told her that he was uncomfortable with what was going on. And I think that she told him that she didn't, she wasn't going to change that. I have no doubt that she probably cares about him. But I truly think that she chose her career over her marriage. And I want people to understand something. This is a woman who's given relationship advice. As a matter of fact, a couple of months ago, she uttered the infamous, "A BJ a day will keep the divorce lawyers away." Because, of course, social media had to go dig that up. See, this is why women should not give dating advice. If you're going to end up leaving your marriage and not even fighting for it, y'all got to understand. It don't even seem like she fought for the marriage. I think she was ready to go. And what's very interesting is this. When you see how amicable this divorce seems to be between the two of them, it lets you know that they have probably been broken up for quite some time. You know, they didn't just decide to break up overnight. This was a marriage that has been over for a while. You know, I think that Jaye just said, you know what, I do care about you. I like being with you. But, you know, you doing this show and you doing these scenes, you know, we have this distance between us. You're becoming more distant. And I think Jaye is probably like, you know what, I'm going to step back. You know, you can, you know, you seem like you're happy. You know, you're doing good. You're thriving in your career. Let's just separate. And she felt the same way because I think Niecy has moved on. I think Niecy is feeling a different way about herself, and she doesn't want to ruin that by staying in a marriage that she doesn't really want to be in anymore. She was okay with being with Jaye when she wasn't as successful as she has gotten now. Okay. But now that she's successful on this show, she's doing these scenes that she know this guy's uncomfortable with. She's not going to change. So she's saying, well, let's leave. Now, I don't think Jaye is going to have to pay any alimony. She probably won't either. That's why she's happy. You know, Jaye I believe he said, you know what, man, if I can just leave this relationship with everything I have and move on, I'm fine. And she's fine with that too. You know, I just think that her giving relationship advice just a couple of months ago, it makes her look foolish in a way. It makes this marriage look like it was seemingly fraudulent for a while. You know, not always, but you know, basically fraudulent. I believe she built a new life for herself in New Orleans, and he's in LA, and he's, you know, working as a, you know, electrical engineer. You know, he's a low key guy. He's not an industry guy. He doesn't want the spotlight. So of course it's going to be amicable because it keeps her from getting any bad press. But I do think it's a bad look that just a couple months ago, you're telling women a BJ a day will keep divorce lawyers away. And then you end up seeking those divorce lawyers. Because I have no doubt in my mind that she divorced him. But because financially he wouldn't lose anything, he probably wouldn't feel as bad about this relationship being over. You know, this relationship has probably been over for quite some time, especially in some of these. Now, I'm not an avid watcher of the show, but I have gone and seen comments, and there was one particular comment that actually said that kind of uttered similar, you know, thoughts that I had, that those scenes in that show with those other dudes are very, very graphic. And I did a little research. They are very graphic. Okay. Very, very graphic. And a guy, again, who is not in Hollywood, he's not a part of the entertainment industry. Now, if he is, y'all can let me know in the comment section. But I mean, he's an electrical engineer. Or is he an electrical engineer in movie studios? Or is that the character he plays in a TV show or movie? Come on. But him having to sit back home and see that, him in a whole nother state, thoughts are going to flow in his mind. Is she messing around on me? We are distant from each other. We're in two different states, miles and miles away. What's going on? You know, and I think that's why I believe this relationship has been over for quite some time. You know, now I'm going to read to you the post that she put out. It's like maybe a joint post between Niecy and Jaye Tucker, right? This was a joint post. We believe in the beauty of truth. Always have. Our truth is that in this season of our lives, we are better friends than partners in marriage. Our reunion was such a gorgeous ride. And as we go our separate ways now, we feel fortunate for the love we share. Present tense. Thank you all out there for your support of us as a couple over the last 8 years. We are grateful. And that's from Niecy Nash and Jaye Tucker. Let me say this. Whenever a woman leaves a marriage happy, she has completely moved on. Because even if a woman, let's say she divorces a guy, right? If she leaves that relationship, she's still going to seek something. Either it's a financial compensation for leaving that relationship, or it's going to be a situation where she is bitter. But neither of those things are happening. She's not seeking financial support of any kind, and she's not bitter. Maybe if he goes and date another actress, maybe she'll be better. But I just think that she may have already found somebody, but she's keeping it low key because she doesn't want to look like a hypocrite. But I will say this though, Niecy, a couple of months ago, you were giving advice on how to keep your marriage strong, and now you're leaving it. That is a bad look, Niecy. So either, in that time period, you decided that you no longer want to be in that marriage, or you were being a little fake. You're being a little fake. And you're going to come off as that if you're trying to give marriage advice when your own marriage is falling apart. And that's what I think has happened in this situation. Now, Niecy seems like a very cool person. I have nothing bad to say about her as a person. People genuinely seem to like her. I just think that there's more going on than they're leading on in this particular situation. I think she wanted to leave. I think she wanted out. I think that she was ready to move on. I think she's been done for quite some time. I think he's been done. I think when you have to see your wife on a TV show, bent over a desk or laying on a desk, getting hammered. I just don't think that a man wants to see his wife engaging in those activities. I just don't think that he wants to see that. That's just not his thing. He's not interested in seeing it. And I can understand that. Imagine you being somebody who's not an actor, who has to watch your wife pretend like she's, not pretend, but she's getting it in with another guy. And you have to watch that every night because you want to support your wife. And you have to watch that. And let me just say this. Men have very good intuitions too, especially with the women that we are with. And if we see the women that we are with around other men and they act and do certain things, we're going to notice certain things, and it's not going to sit well with us.